Hello, everybody. So I need to get my chat. I'm testing out. I mentioned on my last live on TikTok, how's everybody doing, that I was going to be going live and testing out my streaming software. So that's what I'm doing now. So I'm just testing to make sure that everything is set up and good to go. And everything is good to go on my end. So let me turn down my volume. So right now, just need to check a couple things. Oh, I got to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. So I'm checking to see if I'm live where I'm supposed to be. So it's supposed to be live on Instagram. Let's see. And then also live on TikTok and then live on YouTube. So let me try YouTube. If it's showing that I'm live. Wait, let me see. It says that I'm live. Can you all hear me and see me? So I don't have my microphone set up, but I do have my webcam, but just not my microphone. So if you all can hear me and see me, can you let me know? Because I'm not getting the notification that I'm live. Not on. Let me see. I hope everyone is doing well. If you all can hear me and see me, can you let me know what platform you're on if you can hear me and see me? Because it's not showing on my end. Let me go in here and oh yeah. Okay, perfect. So I'm live on TikTok. That's working. Okay, perfect. All right. So that worked. Now let me see if I can try. If I am live on Instagram. Not showing that I'm live on Instagram. Can you all let me know where you're watching from if you can see me? Oh, I'm not showing that I'm on Instagram, and I set it up. Let's see, then YouTube. It only lets you go live on 3 platforms, which that's enough for a test. I'll probably test between TikTok and Facebook and just go between the two. Let's see if a notification. Let's see. Can anyone let me know if you can hear me? Oh, perfect. Oh, from you, you're on YouTube. Okay, great. Thank you for joining the live. I appreciate that. Okay, perfect. So then that means I'm live on YouTube too. Welcome. Thank you so much for being on the live. So right now I'm testing out my streaming platform. So thank you, whoever comes on the live. I appreciate that. If you're on TikTok, if you could tap the screen, I would appreciate that. And if you're watching from any other platform, I wanted to test out the software that I'm using to make sure it's going to work. Then I just wanted to come on and say, hey, and then just kind of let you all know what's coming in the next couple months moving into 2026. And then if you all have any career questions that you want me to answer, I'll answer some of those questions for you as well. So I know that it's a Saturday night and everybody's probably relaxing and doing their thing, which I thought this was a perfect time for me to come on because I knew it probably wouldn't be a ton of people on here for me to test out all the things that I needed to do. So my goal is I want to start using my streaming platform to start going live more often, and I'm going to try to do that 2 times a day. One like in the morning and then one in the evening, depending on my schedule. So I'm definitely going to commit to doing that more just so we can talk and chat and catch up and see how you all are doing, what's going on in your careers, how are you feeling, how are you kind of weathering all the things that are going on in the world. So I know as social workers, oftentimes we're on the front line having to, oh, sorry, hold on. I wanted you to help me test something. I got it. Okay. So I know it's a lot going on in the world, probably a lot going on in your communities. So I just kind of wanted to touch base to see how you all were doing, how you're kind of faring with all the changes. Because like I was saying, oftentimes as social workers and therapists, we're on the front line when things happen in the world, when people are in distress, things are going on in society. You know, we're the ones who are oftentimes called to kind of mediate these situations, problem solve, be in the thick of it, help people get access to resources. I mean, although that's what we're hired to do, that's what we're trained to do, that can still be a lot and can take a toll on you emotionally and mentally. And then if you don't have spaces to kind of process through that and talk through it, and let others know how you're doing, sometimes you can hold all that in. So it's just good for us to have spaces where we can talk and reflect and see like what's next, like what else could we be doing if we feel like the weight of the work is too much. You know, that's one of the things that I try to use my platform for is, you know, you not being a martyr to the work. I talk about that a lot, meaning I think as social workers, a lot of times we hold the weight of society on our shoulders. We hold the weight of having to fix systemic issues and systemic problems that existed long before we came into the profession. And although we do play a role in helping people get access to the things that we need, it's easy for us to feel defeated and as if we're not making a difference, because we're steadily chipping away at these larger systemic issues, and it really doesn't feel like we're making a dent in what's happening in terms of being able to see change around what's going on. But you know, it's not, we didn't cause these issues, so it's not 100% our responsibility to fix it. I always say you have to do what you can where you are with what you have, and that has to be enough. Like, you can't allow yourself to feel guilty or to feel bad that you're not doing enough, that you don't have access to enough, that you're not helping enough. um, this existed long before you, so make sure that you're minding your mental health. You're taking care of yourself. You're recognizing when you're stretching yourself too thin, when you're not resting, not sleeping, not eating, just kind of overworking. So just be mindful about that, because it can be so easy to do within our profession. So if any of you have any career questions, you could drop those in the chat. So again, I'm streaming from YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, so I can see all of your comments. They all kind of come up on the chat. So wherever you're watching from, I'll see all of your comments. So if you have any questions, you can drop your questions there. Then also, hold on. Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. So one of the things that I wanted to mention is what is kind of coming up in 2026. So some of you might already know that I have my mentorship program, Design Your Career, where I help social workers and therapists design careers that they love and monetize what they know. So what that looks like is you creating your career plan, defining your non-negotiables, creating or going through a career guide that I created for you. And then also within the Design Your Career curriculum, it's a 4-part module where you work through creating your professional purpose statement, defining your values and your mission statement, and then thinking about the type of work that you want to do. So one of the things that I created is something called the Social Work Success Path, which helps you kind of navigate where you are in your career and where you eventually want to end up. So as we all know, we have the opportunity to work in like the micro, meso, and macro areas of practice, which we're traditionally taught to work in those spaces. But what I did with the social work success path is I kind of expanded that out a little bit more. So instead of just micro, meso, and macro level of practice, I started to think about what would it look like if we began to build something outside of a traditional 9 to 5, which in this day and time, we all need that as clinicians, as social workers, marriage and family therapists, any helping professional. Relying just on one source of income, one is too close to zero. So we have to have other streams that we're bringing in. Now, this doesn't mean that you're spreading yourself thin. It just means that you identify one niche. I call it the rule of the 5 ones. I didn't actually coin it. It's from a marketing professional. He coined the term. I can't think of his name at the time, but he coined the term the rule of the 5 ones. And when you're creating something outside of your 9 to 5, you only need to have one thing that you're focused on, one offer, one target audience, one message on one platform that you consistently create content around that for 1 year. So you're not doing all the things, you're just identifying one area of expertise that you have from the career phase. So working in your 9 to 5. And then once you have like 3 to 5 years of experience, then you can take that expertise and that knowledge that you have, translate that over into the career phase so that you can start building something for yourself. So the way that I did that when I initially started was I started a consulting company. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know who I wanted to serve. I didn't know how to get clients, but I saw a lady who had came to an agency that I was working for. She had a consulting company and she came in to train. The family support specialist. She had her own independent agency, and I was like, how is she coming into this agency training us how to do our job? And I was like, I can do that. Like the stuff that she was teaching, I learned that in grad school. I was like, I could teach people this. I don't know how she got linked up with the organization, how she was able to secure the contract. I didn't know any of those details. All I knew was I want a consulting company like what she has. So I said this the last time when I mentioned this story, but I want to see if I can try to find who she was. I don't even know if she's still in business. That was so long ago. But yeah, that's how I initially started. And because I didn't have a lot of direction then, which is like the direction that I try to provide to a lot of social workers now within their career. And this doesn't have to be for beginning social workers. This could be if you've been working in the field for a really long time and you're wanting to pivot in your career. I was talking to a lady the other day. She recently retired and she's like thinking about what she wants to do into retirement. That's a perfect opportunity for you to be able to leverage your expertise in training and coaching and teaching, consulting. But you have to know how to package that expertise and market it to where you can bring in an income from it. So again, this isn't for entry-level professionals. This can be mid-tier, mid-management professionals, or if you're looking into retirement. The goal is, regardless of what phase and stage you are in your career, you just need a plan. Like you need a plan mapped out from where you want to go, where you want to be, what your income projections are, what skill sets do you need to leverage to get there. Do you want to integrate social media into what you're doing? And then how do you begin to make some traction on that over the next 90 days? So I'm really big on 90-day planning, 12-week planning. I use a model from the 12-week yearbook, if you all aren't familiar, by Brian Moran. He wrote a book called The 12-Week Year, and that's how I model my planning for my career planning. So you really need that. You need something strategic, something intentional, and then you need to know how to map out your goals in a way that's really going to help you get to where you want to be. So when you're in the career phase, again, you're working those 3 to 5 years, then you can transition into what I call the scaffolding phase, where you're building something on the side, the coaching, consulting, content creation, which is what I do online through YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. So you can do content creation. You can do mentorship, whatever it is that you want to do, a clinical supervision. And then outside of that, you might say, once you start doing it, like, I really like this, I enjoy it, I want to go all in on this and see if I can make this a full-time income. And then you would transition into what I call the social work CEO phase. And that's where you're solely working in your business, and the money that you bring in is solely based on the money that you make from entrepreneurship. So that's the social work success path that I created for social workers. And it's really up to you to decide, like, where in that phase do you want to end up. There's no right or wrong answer. You can have a great career in either three of those phases. It's just a matter of you doing what's in alignment with your purpose and what matters to you and who you want to serve, the impact that you want to make, and like how big of a brand do you want to have. You can maintain a personal brand within your profession where you're known for something within your 9 to 5. You can teach and you continue to work in the career phase, and you just kind of move up and do different things within that phase. You don't have to move into the scaffolding phase, but if you did and you wanted to have a bigger impact and then create your own curriculum, your own programs, your own trainings, you wanted to license the things that you do, then you can transition into the scaffolding phase and then begin thinking about, like, what would it look like for me to create a brand around my name and my ideas and my intellectual property, my philosophies and my frameworks. So then you can transition into the scaffolding phase. And then if it takes off and you decide that that's something that you want to do full time, then you transition into the CEO phase. So what I do for social workers is not only do I help you decide like where you are and where you want to be through my Design Your Career Mentorship program, I help you chart the path. Like, what is that going to look like? How do you go from employee to entrepreneur? Because I don't know if you all know this or not, but the mindset that you need as an entrepreneur is totally different than the mindset that you have as an employee. So you making like that mental shift and all overcoming all those mental challenges, that's one of the biggest parts that's going to help you be successful when you decide that you want to do something for yourself. Because there are going to be times, because entrepreneurship is all about like how you leverage your expertise, and it's all about marketing. And if you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter if you have all the licenses, all the degrees, all the certifications. If you don't know how to get in front of the people who need what you have or know how to position yourself in the marketplace, it's going to be very hard for you to be able to succeed as an entrepreneur. So I did a live yesterday. I'll make sure that I post it to my YouTube channel where I talked a lot about that. I talked a lot about how to brand yourself professionally. And you can have a brand, again, whether you're working in a 9 to 5 or as an entrepreneur. So it doesn't matter like what stage of professionalism that you're in, it still helps to be building a personal brand. So does anybody have any questions on that? Or you all can let me know, what are you all working on? What's going on in your community? What are you seeing in the profession or where you're working? What area of expertise do you all have? You can share that and let me know. It really helps to know who I'm talking to and what you're doing and what your goals are. So if anyone wanted to share, you can feel free to put that in the chat. So I wanted to also make mention of when we're talking about planning for 2026. So like I mentioned, the mentorship program is going to be closed, and then I'm going to open it up again for January. But for now, we're just going to be mapping out our goals to finish out 2025, doing some planning, some vision planning. I make a vision board every year. I don't know if anyone, well, I don't remake it. I have one that I have had for a couple years, and I just like revamp that vision board, or I'll add things to it. The last couple years, I've pretty much kept it how it was because I didn't really want to change it until I felt like I had accomplished the majority of things on the board. So I was like, let me just keep it and update it. I feel like I want to add a couple more things now because when I first created my vision board, I didn't have a stand store. Like I just recently started integrating a stand store into getting sales online, and it's so easy. Like if any of you want to create digital products and have courses or trainings that you want to sell, before I started using stand store, I still have Kajabi, but that was like my primary platform where I have my website is housed on Kajabi, my courses were housed on Kajabi. I was doing all of my email marketing through Kajabi, and it's not a clunky system. It's a learning curve. So it takes some time for you to learn how to create the pages and link the pages and add the images and do the SEO for it. It can be a lot. And then when I started using Stand Store, I can literally create a page from my phone. I can send emails from my phone. I could do automations from my phone. So it was just so much easier than me having to like sit on my computer for hours and like build out full sales pages. Um, so I've really been liking the ease of that. It just makes it so simple to sell. And then the other thing that I like about Stand Store is once you get to 100,000 sales, then you get like a plaque. I don't know why I'm so big on plaques. Like I'm trying to work toward my YouTube play button. I want to get the Stand Store plaque. So I'm trying to funnel all of my sales through Stand Store so they could start counting toward me getting the plaque. And then Kajabi, I don't think they have that. And if they do, I've not seen it. So I really want to work toward that. So that's why I'm switching over platforms. So that's going to be something that I'm going to be helping you all do through my content. So if you know that you want to create digital products, I just posted some content today on Instagram. I'm going to be posting some more videos today. And one of the things I mentioned was you needing a funnel. Like it doesn't have to be a complicated funnel. But what I mean by funnel is you want to have a way to filter people who see your content online. And then you need a way to take them offline and get them into your world, like on your email list, on your text list, which is something else I'm going to be adding into my processes. I've just been hearing a lot of things in the marketing space where they say text messages convert a lot better than email. So my email open rates are pretty decent, but I still want to try to see if I can get a better conversion with text message. So I'm going to be adding a software into my processes and then seeing how well that converts for my offers. So that's something that's going to be new for what I'm doing. Now, some of you might just be starting from scratch. And let me tell you, if you just want to get started with something simple and you don't like want all of the complicated things, like how you, like I said, I started with the Kajabi platform. I'm only use that because that's what I built my website from. And then I knew that I wanted to have courses and trainings. But if you knew that you wanted to get started, let's say you don't have a WordPress site, you don't have a website, don't have Kajabi, don't have any like real online presence. You might like post a little bit, but you don't have anything to sell. You don't have an offer. So if you were just starting out, like just wanted to get out there, create an offer, have what we call a lead magnet. If you wanted to create that, I would absolutely recommend that you start with Stand Store. And then once you get kind of like in the hang of it and you want to like really build a brand, you could totally build a brand with the Stand Store, but there are some limitations where certain analytics you don't have, certain numbers that you're not able to see, certain functionality that you don't have that's important. So I think if you're just starting out, depending on how you build your business and how you want to do your sales, you can absolutely, I see people grow and use like TikTok to Stand Store has really good conversions that I see for people. And then Instagram to Stand Store has really good conversions. So depending on how you build your content, you can absolutely just have a Stand Store. Now, if you already have a website, you have a practice and you already have like a WordPress site, sometimes like just adding in that Stand Store kind of seems unnecessary. So sometimes when I help clinicians decide like how do you want to show up online, we have to think about the functionality of it to see if it makes sense. So if it does, then I highly recommend starting with the Stand Store. But it depends on like what you want to do, what type of systems you want to have in place, and then like what type of presence, because sometimes when you have a Stand Store, it gives like that a creator presence. So if you wanted it to have more like a professional feel, depending on what you're selling, like if you're selling to like a client base, like if you're selling to moms or to teachers, like Stand Store would be perfect. Like you don't need anything else. But if you were maybe doing corporate clients and you wanted to have something else that looked a little bit more like not like you were a creator, then you might want to do like a Kajabi or a Thrive Card or something like that. But I mean, you just need to think through the options and what would be the best fit for your business. But in terms of getting started, the easiest to set up. You could literally set it up in a day and have your whole store ready to go with your digital products. So it's super easy. Does anybody have any questions about platforms? What platforms they should be looking into if they do want to sell digital products? What are some ideas around digital products? So that's one of the other things that I provide to social workers. So if you know that you want to get started in creating digital products, but you're like, I don't know what I would sell, I have a couple resources for you. One, I have a resource with 20 digital product ideas, which are going to give you profitable digital product ideas that you can start selling like now. And then you'll just need to go through the list to see, like, do any of those ideas fit your area of expertise? So there are three things that will ensure your success when you're deciding on a digital product idea. And the beauty about those three things is they all relate to the social work profession in some degree. So if you build your content, if you build your brand around any three of these areas, you will 100% be successful if you learn how to market appropriately. So the first area is health. So if you build your brand around anything having to do with health, you 100% can guarantee your success in the online space. And health could be physical health, meaning your body, your physical fitness, nutrition, wellness, anything dealing with becoming well. It doesn't just have to be like diet. It could be something other than that, but just in that health realm. People are always wanting to make sure that they're fit, that their body is well optimized, that they're making the most of their day. That they're eating well, that they're sometimes people like counting calories or macros or juicing, like whatever it is around health. That's one of the main niches that does really well. So you have health and then you have wealth. So anything around finances, credit, business credit, improving your finances, budgeting, cash stuffing, like anything that has to do with money, investing. That's the second niche that does really, really well. So you have health, wealth, and then relationships. So anything having to do with, you guys probably see like those narcissistic videos. They just pop off on Instagram. So and TikTok. So anything around relationships, understanding men, understanding women, communication in your relationship, a loneliness, your partner shutting down, difficulty attracting a partner, like all those concerns that people have around relationships. Your marriage is like on the rocks. You don't know if it's going to make it. All of those things like do really well on social media. So if you can identify a niche in any of those areas, that will be really great. So the list that I have, the 20 social work specific digital product ideas, you can access that list. The categories fall within one of those three realms. And then again, once you learn how to market, you can literally build a business around, or just digital products, just sell your digital products around those areas on the list. So you can absolutely do that. And then in addition to you like identifying your area of expertise, like you can use that list. And not only that, I also have pre-made templates for you as a social worker or a therapist, meaning you don't even have to create the graphics for it. Sometimes we use Canva a lot, and we'll go in there and make our workbooks and our planners and our ebooks and our guides and our checklists, like whatever that digital product is that you want to create. But what I've done is I've already created over 15 different digital products that you can use that are social work specific. So I have them around relationship, your love language, emotional intelligence, working with kids, anxiety and depression, like all these different topics, being a doula and all the things that you need to get started. So you can literally go into the portal that I have, which is my school community. You can go into the school community and then get access to those digital product trainings that I have. Or it's not a training, it's more like an ebook or a guide. And then that could be like what you use. You can either sell that as a digital product, or it could be what we call like a lead magnet. And if you all don't know what a lead magnet is, I can explain what it is and the way that it works in your marketing, because that's one of the most important things, because you need that. You need to have that in place. I'll explain it in a second. Just in case you've never heard the term. Some of you may have heard it. So when you have a lead magnet with your digital products, you need a way to draw people into your world. You need a way to draw people into your community, to learn about you, to learn about what you offer, how you can help them, and how you can help them get a transformation in their lives. If they're struggling with something, you as the professional, you as the social worker, you as the person who've overcome the challenge or the difficulty, You want to be able to have something that when you start making your content online, you have something that you can give them to help them get a quick win in their lives. So we have like 3 different names for that. It could be called a freebie, which is something you just give away for free. It can be a lead magnet, which is a way that you draw people into your world. So it's like you're magnetizing your audience and your people to you. So it's a attraction mechanism that you have for people to come onto your email list. And then we also call it an opt-in. An opt-in means once you have this digital product that you upload it to a platform. So how I mentioned Stand Store, you will upload that lead magnet or that freebie onto your Stand Store. And in order for somebody to get that from you, they have to opt in, like say that I want this, by adding their name and their email address. So a lot of you might notice when people are selling things online and they'll say access my free guide or get my free podcast series or comment the word nutrition and I'll send you my nutrition guide. So when they do that and you add the word or you go to their website, you'll see like a page and then it'll ask for you to add your email and your name in order to get access to it. So that's you opting in and saying, yes, I want this. I'm agreeing to you sending this to me by email and I'm okay with you communicating with me. Now you can always opt out of it and say, no, I don't want this anymore, or I don't want to receive any updates or any emails. But when you opt in, you're giving them permission to continue to communicate with you through text message or through email. So that's an opt-in. So you want to have that. You want to have a way for people to be able to get the free thing that you have. And then the automation, like what causes it to be automatic, where you don't have to do anything except set up the systems. So once you set up the systems and you'll say, comment the word nutrition, and I'll send you my free nutrition guide. Once you have your system set up in the back end, like once you set everything up through Stand Store or ManyChat or whatever it is that you're using, then your automations are the things that send that digital product to people. So it does 3 things for you, which is amazing. Like it saves you so much time when you know how to use animation. So once you have your lead magnet and you set up your automation, it does 3 things for you. One of the things that it does is it delivers that free guide, ebook, checklist, whatever that thing is, it delivers it to the person who says that they want it. 1. 2, if you say comment the word nutrition in the comment section, then once they comment, it'll automatically send them a message that says, just sent, check your DM. You got it, or whatever you wanted to say. So then 2, it communicates to the person once they add the word, letting them know that it's on the way or they got it. 3, it sends them a message inside the DM where you can start communicating with them and talking more about like, well, what's going on with your nutrition. So you're getting an idea and a picture of what's going on with the people who are showing interest in your lead magnet. So all of that automation is happening on the back end. And then when it automatically sends it to them, like the first point that I said, it automatically sends it. Not only does it automatically send it to them by email, but then it automatically sends them an email saying, here you go, here's your free thing. It gives a confirmation that they actually got it. And then once they get that confirmation, then you could automatically set up more emails on the back end where you continue to communicate with them and talk with them, where you set up the emails one time and you can have your entire emails created and set up in like one day, but they can go out for the entire month. So if you wanted to send one email a week, then you could do that, and then it's totally automated. And this is something like the post that I recently made when I was talking about therapists and leveraging their expertise outside of one-to-one work. This is exactly what I was talking about. Like we don't, as therapists, I have a private practice myself. We don't have to 100% rely on seeing clients on a one-to-one basis in order to create an income for ourselves. Like these automations can be working in the background while you're having independent therapy sessions or your private sessions. And then you have all of this working in the background for you. So it's like you can literally duplicate yourself when you learn how to set all this up and put it together. So this is what I highly recommend and highly suggest to social workers in order for you to begin leveraging your expertise and leveraging your time, because time is a resource that you never get back. And as social workers, we've been conditioned that working hard has to equate to how much money we get. Like the harder we work, then that means like we're deserving to earn a certain amount. But when you get into the online space and online marketing, it's not about how hard you work. the best marketer wins online. It's not about talent. It's not about quality. It's not about how much you know. It's about how well you know how to market, how well you know how to get in front of your target audience, speak to the things that they need, get your messaging out, and convert them to people who follow you, to people who are willing and wanting to buy from you. That's the name of the game online. So if anyone has any questions about that, you can submit your questions. Like, I can see all the questions in the chat right now. I'm live on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I'm just trying out my streaming platform just to see like how it's going to work for me when I decide that I want to start doing this more often. I don't have my microphone set up, so if it's like little echoey, that's probably why. But next time, like when I'm really ready to post, this was just like a test, but when I'm really ready to post, then I'll set my microphone up just to make sure that the audio is clear. So does anyone have any questions about setting up your systems, your automations? So what the posts were talking about that I posted about on Instagram was just letting social workers know that setting all that up that I mentioned is a service that I provide for social workers and therapists. So I have a funnel build out service. So if any of you are interested in having that set up for your business or for your practice, you can go to any of the posts that I just created. And the word that I'm using, my keyword that you have to put in the chat is freedom. So if you put the word freedom in the chat in any one of those videos, then you'll see the automation at work. And even if you wanted to do it now, like right now, I'm just like on the computer, hands free, on the live, like don't have my phone. If any of you are on Instagram or wanted to go hop over on one of those videos and then just put the word freedom in the comments, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Like you'll see the automations at work. The fact that a message is going to be sent to you, like it's coming from me saying it's sent, check your inbox. You're going to get the inbox with the messages already pre-made that I set up, and then it's going to link you to my Stand Store page where you can look at the offer that I created. And that whole process is what I set up for social workers and therapists. And you don't have to be licensed to do this. You don't have to be a master's level social worker. I have a clinician who I work with, and I set up her funnel and her systems. She hasn't passed her licensing exam yet, but she knew she wanted to get out there and start making content. She knew that she had something of value that she wanted to say. So I worked with her for her to come up with her messaging to decide on the digital product that she wanted to create. She already had something created, but we needed to revamp it. Just kind of make it pretty in Canva, make sure that the words align with her audience. She had to start making consistent content. And when we created that for her, she didn't have anything created before we did this. So now she has an operational Stand Store. She has her automation set up. She has her lead magnet set up, and she's been able to get leads from it. She's gotten, when we first set it up, I had told her like, okay, you need to start making consistent content so people can be expecting you're going to be dropping something soon. And she was able to get 17 leads and grow her Instagram from, I think she had like 400, and now she has over 1,000 followers on Instagram just from her showing up, posting. Now she has people in her funnel. So if she wants to sell something, which we already created her digital product for her, when she's ready to sell that, she already has an email list of what we call a warm audience of people who've already been hearing from her. They already like her messaging. They already like what she's offering. They got her free thing. And then she'll just kind of continue to communicate with them. And then when she's ready to sell her ebook, then she has an email list that she can already sell to. So that's ideally how you want to do it. Like I know sometimes you'll see people on TikTok, which you can do it this way too, just like selling from live. But a lot of those people, they go live every day. So once you go live on every day, people become familiar with you, your voice, what you do, what you have to offer. And sometimes those people aren't like just seeing your stuff the first time around. That does happen sometimes, but you want to get in front of people a decent amount of time before they buy something from you. So if any of you know that you want something like that set up, or you have something set up and it's not like doing the numbers that you want it to do, and you want me to take a look at it and see how you can improve it, you can let me know. So it's 8:30 every day. I do my daily gratitude. So I'm gonna do that now. Thank you guys so much for today. Thank you for allowing me to wake up this morning. Thank you for the vision and the purpose and the guidance that you've given me, the direction over my life. Thank you for family. Thank you for health. Thank you for the clarity and direction that you've given me over things that you have called me to do. Um, Thank you for having so much grace over me, watching over me every day, watching over my family. I'm so thankful, so grateful for everything that I've received, all the ways that you have provided in ways that I couldn't even imagine. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ashe, Ashe, Amen. So, um, if any of you have any questions, let me know and I'll answer any questions that you have. Building out your funnels, creating your offers. Oh, and also, so I created a therapist marketing school. So if you just like want to get access to like helpful marketing tips, you can also become a part of the therapist marketing school. If you click the link in my profile, it'll take you over to my Stan store. And then from there, you'll see join the therapist marketing school. And that's a part of my school community too. So let me tell you, is anybody here a social worker, therapist, or helping professional? You know that you want to start putting your name and your brand out there more in 2026. Let me know. Do you have that goal? Sorry, these lights be making me oily. Do any of you have that goal of putting yourself out there more 2026? You know that you want to like start making a name for yourself, be known for something in the profession, or to be known for something in your niche where you're really wanting your voice to be a part of the conversation more next year than it has been up till now. Because that's one of the things that we talk about in the therapist marketing school. And it's not just for therapists. I know that I named it therapist marketing school, but it's not just for therapists. It's for any social worker, helping professional, marriage and family therapist. If you know that you want to create content online, you want to like lean into your voice more, start leading conversations, have an intentional brand and an intentional presence online, then you can absolutely join the therapist marketing school. Let me see if I could drop the link. I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Let me see if I go to my school community. I don't know if this is going to work. So hopefully, let me see if it did anything to my screen. Because I'm not sharing my screen, I think it should be fine. Okay, so let me get y'all the link to the therapist marketing school. Let's see. Here it is. I'm going to drop this link. I'm not sure where it's going to go. And maybe if you know of a social worker, a therapist, maybe you're not the one who's been, oh, it's going to YouTube. So that's the link to therapist marketing school. Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's a social worker, a colleague that you know, like you've been seeing them making content, posting online, and they need some additional support and some tips. Making content online is not just something that you just want to jump into without direction and strategy, especially if you want it to work and you want it to work well. Like it helps to be in contact and communication with someone who can help you walk through all the ways to make it work for you. Because ideally, when you're making content online, you want that to translate into income. Like you don't just want to have a ton of followers and not able to monetize off of the number of people that are following. Like you want to be able to leverage your expertise and not just share everything for free, to where you know you have a level of knowledge that a lot of people don't have, and people should be paying you for that. That doesn't mean that you charge for everything. Like you give a lot away for free. So when you start giving a lot away for free, that helps people to get familiar with what you would have. And if they say, like, if this is the stuff that you are giving away for free, I can only imagine what your paid stuff is like. And that's what you want people to think. Like, this was so good, I would pay for whatever it is that you offer. So you want to give a lot of value for free. And then you also want to have things that people can pay you for as well. So that's kind of like an update. Oh, and in December, we're going to be having our career planning workshop. So I'll be sending that out to my email list as well. So we're going to be planning for our first 12 weeks, January, February, and March, so that we can get these career goals up and running, that we can stop playing small. If it's anything that you put off last year that you know that you want to do in 2026, like we're creating SMART goals around that. Like I thought that everybody knew like how to create a SMART goal, but everybody doesn't know how to create a goal in that way. Sometimes we just like throw ideas out there, and the idea is not a goal. Just because you say you want to do something, that doesn't mean that you've mapped out the plan to execute it. Just like when I started my private practice, I could say, yeah, I want to start a private practice, but if I don't write down the steps and the strategies, the budget, the things that I have to keep in mind, my design costs, my billing, my credentialing, all those things, if I don't write that down and have a plan to achieve it and a date that I plan to open my practice, then it stays an idea. So we want to take things from just being a thought and just being an idea and really like put some momentum behind it so you can start seeing some progress toward the things that you're doing. So if anyone has any goals, anything that they're working on that you want to share, you could drop that in the chat and let me know. And then we can talk through like what are some of the goals that you are working on. If you just want to share what some of those goals are going into the new year, like what's one thing that you're committed to working on and doing and accomplishing in the coming year that you haven't done this year. And it's okay, that if you've not accomplished those things. I was talking to one of my mentees in the mentorship program, and we were working through some of her goals. And in addition to talking through the goals, I always ask like, well, what is the mental block that's getting in the way of you? Is anything mentally getting in the way of where you are and kind of you getting to the next phase? And she was saying like, I feel behind. Now, mind you, I think she's like in her 30s, but I mean, that's how she felt. In my mind, I'm like, you have time. But for her, she felt behind. So we had to like work through that. Like, well, behind compared to who or compared to what? Like, what are you comparing yourself to that's making you feel like you're behind? So know that having the goal is only one part of it, but you being able to work through those mental challenges, that's a really big part too, that can keep you from getting to where you want to be. Because oftentimes our thoughts are the things that hold us back when there's no other limitation that will keep us from having the thing that we want. It's like your belief in yourself that you can do it or that you can create it. So that whole idea of self-efficacy, our belief that we can do it or our belief that we can have it. So if that's not fully installed, then you're going to procrastinate. You're going to find distractions. You're not going to, take serious steps toward the things that you want to do. You're going to talk yourself out of it. You're going to make yourself believe that it's for other people and not for you. So you got to overcome all of those mental blocks that get in the way. And I know as clinicians and as social workers, we help people work through those things all the time, but it's really about applying those things to our own lives so we can reach our goals the same way we encourage our clients to reach theirs. So I feel like now going into the new year, like we're in a season where we have to like really decide like how do we want to show up? Like how do we want our lives to reflect the things that matter to us? Because it's times like this where you got to decide like who do you want to be. I talked about this in one of my other videos, like what type of social worker do you want to be? Now I got to a point in my career like I've done a lot of advocacy. I've done a lot of community work. I've done a lot of the frontline stuff and the marches and the sit-ins and the die-ins and the all the things. So when you're like seeing things in the world take place and transpire, you have to decide for yourself like how do I want to show up in this social work space right now in this moment, and then not feel guilty that you can't do more or feel like that you're not doing enough. Like you got to give yourself permission to show up the way that you feel like that you have the capacity to show up, and know that that's enough, and not allow other people to judge like the type of work that you're doing or not doing or what they see or what they don't see, and then have that be a reflection of the quality of social worker that you are. Because a lot of times people will have you believe that you should be doing certain things, you should be saying certain things, you should be speaking out on certain issues, where you absolutely can do that if you wanted to, but you shouldn't allow anyone to guilt you into that or feel like, oh, I should be saying something. No, you should only be saying something if you feel like you have something to say. If you don't have anything you want to say or any value to add to the conversation, or any place where you feel like your opinion will be seen, validated, heard, appreciated, you don't have to do anything. And then there's a lot of ways to advocate. Advocating doesn't always mean being the loudest voice in the room. It doesn't always mean being the one on the front line. It's a lot of things that you can do to advocate for change for people that sometimes go unseen. So that's another thing that I want you all to keep in mind. Oftentimes we think that advocacy has to be like the thing that's out in front for people to see that we're doing the work. It doesn't have to be that. And you have to be okay with what advocacy looks like for you and how you want to show up in the space. Now, if you know, like, you want to be doing more, but you don't feel like you have the expertise or the knowledge, then that becomes the goal. That becomes the goal for you to begin to develop the knowledge, develop the expertise, read the books, get in the conversations, get in the room. Don't be afraid to be wrong. Like, go into spaces where they're talking about things, listen to other people's perspectives. And when you listen to other people's perspectives, like, try to form your own thoughts around it. Do your own research, do your own due diligence, and then listen to opposite opinions. Like, don't just be in a vacuum of people who think like you and talk like you and feel the same way you feel. Like, go into rooms, into conversations and spaces with people who don't believe what you believe, and listen. Like, just listen. Not listen in a guarded way. Like, this is where true maturity and emotional intelligence takes place, which I had to grow into. This is when you can go into a space with people who you don't agree with, but it doesn't emotionally trigger you. Like, you can sit in that space with them and just listen to their perspective, and it doesn't do anything to you emotionally whatsoever. And you want to have the capacity to do that because it's going to allow you to hear the other person's side and the other person's perspective. And what that listening does, when you learn how to listen to someone else's view, it strengthens your perspective. Like, it gives you the ability to have counter arguments and to, like, understand why you believe what you believe, and if what you believe is true and solid. Like, sometimes we adapt the ideas and beliefs and talking points that we hear other people say, or like sound bites that we get off the internet, or somebody of influence who we like, they said it, so we start saying it. But if it's not grounded in anything that you've heard or read or understood for yourself, you got to test those things out and see if that is where you want to land on your perspective and on your opinion. So you have to listen to people, see if you agree, and then formulate your own opinion, your own perspective around it. And that's what's going to, like, strengthen your emotional muscle. That's also going to strengthen your mental muscle, so you can begin to develop that depth of knowledge that you hear me talk a lot about. And you can't develop a depth of knowledge by surrounding yourself with people who believe what you believe and think how you think. Like, that's not how that happens. You have to be in conversations with people in opposition, because, like, that's how you sharpen your sword, is you come into contact with people who, make you think of a different angle and a different perspective, and consider a counter argument that you would have not given any validation or credence to had you not sat in the space and just listened. So I really encourage you all to do that. Like, have enough emotional bandwidth to be able to sit in a space and be okay. Like, you don't have to get up and walk away. You don't have to, like, oh, I can't take this, I gotta get up, like, I can't sit here. Like, why not? Like, why can't you just sit here and not take this in emotionally and make it mean anything about you? You can sit down and listen to somebody who doesn't believe what you believe and think how you think. And oftentimes I think sometimes if we share space with people like that, we feel like we're giving them our energy. That doesn't have to be the case. You decide, and you get to say who gets your energy and who doesn't. And you being in the same space as someone or not doesn't mean that you're giving them your energy. It just means you're expanding your emotional bandwidth. That's how I perceive it. So I encourage you all to do that. If you know that you are, wanting to start having meaningful conversations, leading dialogues, but maybe you don't feel equipped enough or like you know enough, that's what I would recommend. Anyone have any questions? So I mentioned about the upcoming career planning workshops going to be in December. You can join the Therapist Marketing School if you know that you want to start building a brand and putting yourself out there more on social media. Let's see, what else? We have anything else going on? Oh, I mentioned about design your career. So right now, mentorship is closed. We're going to be reopening so we can start planning out our next 12-week year closer to the end of the year, probably after December. Yeah, that's all the things that we have going on over here. I have a couple podcast interviews that I'm going to be uploading. Oh, and if you haven't checked out my interview with Dr. Apgar, you all know that there's some ASWB changes coming to the exam. I know a lot of people had questions about that, and I had Dr. Apgar on my YouTube channel. It was my podcast that I was uploading to my YouTube channel, but she was on my YouTube channel. I think it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So I reached out to her when I heard about the ASWB changes, and then she agreed to be on the podcast again. So we recorded the episode. It's live on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to be chopping up the clips of the interview and then distributing those through my social media platforms. And I'm also going to be using some automation. So I'm probably going to, the automation that you'll probably see is comment the word ASWB, and then you'll get the link to the entire interview. Then I'm going to link that to my YouTube channel. So that'll be going out, just those videos. And then, let me see. I had another interview. I don't know what I'm going to do with that one yet. I got to decide. And then I had 2 other ones. I haven't even got the link for one of the ones that I did, but I think if I can, I'll add the 2 to my YouTube channel. Then I'll be adding my TikTok live videos here too. So that way, if you're not on TikTok and you just kind of want to see what I've been doing on live, I'll update those on YouTube as well. So I think I'll probably be on till 9. If anyone has any questions, let me see what's going on over on TikTok, because I know sometimes if you are not active, or if it sees that you're not active, it'll sometimes kick you off. Let's see. We will be updating our community. Okay, got it. Okay. So I should be good to go. I think I haven't. Oh, so I'm still. If you are watching from, let me see. Let me come. Let's see. Okay. If you are watching from TikTok, let me know if you're here from TikTok. Because sometimes if you don't, if you're not active, it'll recognize, like, say no activity on the live. So we don't want that to happen. I don't want to be kicked off. But I'll probably stay on till about 9 o'clock. And then the other things that I mentioned about the links to the videos, I'm going to be uploading that and then have that ready to post for next week. And I'm curious, how are you guys liking the workwear videos? I mentioned that I wanted to start doing more. I have put an outfit in my stories that I might record that tomorrow. I really enjoy recording the workwear videos. So when I first started on YouTube, when I was doing my content creation, I was looking up a lot of creators, like how to be successful on YouTube, how to film your content, like what were easy setups, how you should do your thumbnails, your descriptions, your keywords, all the things. And one of the creators that I came across, she's kind of shifted her content. At this point, she doesn't do as much YouTube content, but when I first was on here, Vanessa Lau, I was following her. So she grew a huge business, was making a lot of content around how to succeed on YouTube. She still does how to succeed on YouTube videos and Instagram. She did a lot of Instagram content, but she burned down her business because the business got bigger than her. And she was watching all of these creators tell her like what she should be doing to grow the business. And it just got to be something that she no longer enjoyed. So she shut everything down, discontinued her programs, and went offline, I think, for about a year. And then when she came back online, she had a renewed sense of how she wanted to be a creator, how she wanted to show up in this space, how she wanted to build a business that felt right to her and not just like what she was supposed to be doing for the industry that she was in. Like, she was on track to be one of those bigger influencers. But that wasn't her path. Like, it just didn't feel aligned. She wasn't happy doing it. So now when she came back online, now she's more grounded, she's more centered, and she's building her content from a more emotionally intelligent place, like where she has a lot more insight into the type of person that she wants to be, how she wants to show up online, and not just doing things for the algorithm. And one of the things that she says now is when she makes content, she says she does one for you, one for me, and one for life. And I love that philosophy. So what she means by that is she makes one piece of content for you, meaning for her audience, her viewer, something that's going to be helpful for you building your business, you learning what's happening in the online space, because that's what she does. So she does something for you. Then she does something for me, like something that I want to do that matters to me, that's important, that's not about the algorithm, not about keywords, just something that I enjoy. And then one for life, which is like her legacy work. So if she was to look back on everything that she created, those would be the pieces of content that she would be proud of. So I kind of took that philosophy in with how I wanted to create content. So those workwear videos, that's my one for me. So when I make videos around your career growth and professionalism and the Design Your Career Mentorship Program, the 90-day career planning, creating your digital products, your funnel build out, those are the things that I think can help you grow and progress in your career. Then the workwear videos, that's like for me, because I love creating those videos. And then one for life is all of the videos that I do to contribute to the social work profession overall. So if you were to go on Google and type in social work success path, like you'll see my videos and my content come up under that keyword where that didn't exist before. Like there was no one creator who had that term social work success path or social worker who built a brand around that name. So now that's like my legacy as a part of the profession, was having built out that social work success path, like those 3 phases of professionalism that I talk about. And that's my contribution to the profession, is helping social workers navigate their career in that way. So that's kind of like my philosophy. I really like that. So that's kind of how I've been creating content. I'm watching from Ghana. Oh, thank you. Thanks so much for being here. Welcome to my live. Thank you so much for being here. Are you a social worker? I really want to start getting more into international social work. I have a couple of people from Nigeria in my community. I really want to start doing more international social work content. Maybe I should think about how I can do that more next year, because that is really important to me. So thank you so much for joining my live. And I never released it, but I think it was 2 years ago, to do more international content. I would love that. If you have ideas of what you would want me to create, I really wanted to start doing more research on what's going on in other countries, because we have social workers all around the world. So I probably need to start doing my research to see what's going on in Ghana. Then I can talk more about that. It's a lot of ideas that I have about how I want to cover social work on my channel. But if you wanted to reach out and connect, kind of give me an idea of what's going on there, what some of the challenges you guys are having in the profession, or I would just be curious to know like the type of work that you all do in Ghana. That would be amazing. So thank you so much for being on my live. So does anyone have any questions about designing your career, deciding on how to leverage your social work expertise, your stages of professionalism, the career phase, the scaffolding phase, the social work CEO phase, how to transition in between the phases? Like I said, we're going to be having our career planning workshop in December. So make sure that you start writing down your plans. What is your vision for your profession? What is the impact that you want to have? Who is it that you want to serve? Like, we're going to be mapping out all of those goals so we can really see some success in the things that we want to accomplish in the coming year. Now, like I said, I use the 12-week year model with planning. So we're breaking down our goals into 4 12-week years. That's how the 12-week year model works. So we move away from what the book is called, the 12-week year. The author is Brian Moran, and he talks about moving away from what he calls annualized thinking, meaning you think about your goals in annual terms to where you think you have all this time to complete the goal. But what we do is we break that all of your big annual goals down into 4 12-week years. So instead of having 12 months, you give yourself 12 weeks to complete it. And the goal and the idea of that is it increases momentum. It gives you small wins. It gives you the ability to evaluate where you are and plan for the next year with intention, considering, the things that you were able to accomplish and the things that you weren't. So if any of you want to get access to my 90-day career planner, you can. I'm going to be updating it. So I'm probably going to send out the new planner to my entire email list. So if you're on my email list, you'll get the updated 90-day career planner, because I really wanted it to make sense for how you're planning. And the way that it was formatted and how I had it laid out didn't really make sense to me. So I've gone in recently and then made some changes to it. So I'll be sending that out to my email list. Any questions? Let me see if I have any questions on TikTok. I don't see any. Does anyone have any questions? I think I pretty much covered everything that I wanted to say. So I will be, like I said, I'll be recording my workwear video tomorrow, and I'm excited about that. So we'll get that out. The Dr. Apgar clips, some of those I'll probably drop some of those tonight, and you'll be able to see the full interview. It's on my channel if you haven't seen it already. So yeah, I got a lot to do tonight. I got a couple things I need to get done. So, but this worked great. Like, I'm excited about this. So right now I'm recording live from Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And I can only do three platforms before I have to upgrade. I don't know that I want to upgrade. I have to see, because I do want to stream from Facebook. But if I stream from Facebook, I would want to do it earlier in the day. So I'm going to probably do that tomorrow just to test it out. I don't know if you all can hear me. I'm hoping that the audio sounds okay. I haven't gotten any complaints about the audio, so maybe we should be good to go. But I do want to set up my microphone. So then when we go live, do you guys have any topics that you would want me to cover? So for now, I'm just going to continue talking about the career planning workshop, navigating your career, mapping out your goals, the 3 phases of professionalism, the importance of creating something outside of your 9 to 5, even if you're international. So for those of you listening from Ghana, other countries, even if you're international, you still want to begin creating something outside of the role that you do, like your 9 to 5 role. You want to begin leveraging social media to create a name, identity, and a brand for yourself, something that you can be known for outside of the work. The work is always going to be there, and it will consume you if you don't take time to develop some type of brand and identity outside of the work that you do. So once you work in your career 3 to 5 years, you should be ready to have some type of specialization that you can leverage online using your expertise. And I recommend every social worker have something going outside of your 9 to 5. So if there's any topics that you will want me to cover on that, and I do see your comment, is it Alex, about wanting me to cover more content about Ghana. So I'll definitely look into that. But if you have a link or anything that you will want to send me, or something that can kind of give me a sense of what's going on, I'll do my own research too, but that'll be helpful to kind of guide what I create. But I'll probably just do something like social. I'll probably just do something general first, like social work. What could be the title? Exploring social work in these top international companies or international countries. The 5 international companies where you can work as a social worker, something like that. and then just kind of do a overview and a high level view of the top countries where social workers practice, and then can maybe go into a little bit more detail. Because I know I sometimes have a lot of people from India. I want to say it's Australia. It's either Australia or Austria. I get a lot of people following me on Instagram. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to be done. I'm excited about it. It's so amazing, like the power of YouTube. I know a lot of people start on Instagram building content, but YouTube is it. YouTube is it. Let's see. All right. Let me check. Make sure I don't have any questions. Doesn't look like it. So I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. What is it? Also, don't worry. It works. I don't understand. What is what? What is this? I'm doing a live for social workers and therapists around career planning, designing a career, using your social work skills, your therapist skills, and what that can look like. That's what we're talking about. And right now I'm live on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. I'm hoping Instagram. Just answering questions, sharing some insights. And some updates, things to expect going into the new year, which I'm super excited about. So I don't know if anyone has any questions. And I will say this, I mentioned this before. Know that when you are deciding that, let me start by saying, a lot of us went into this profession because we have a really big heart. We have a desire to help people. We want to see systems change. We want to see certain things in the world be better for people who are suffering, who are in need. Maybe we were in situations ourselves, because a lot of times that's what draws us to the work, is where we were in situations and we wish we had somebody there for us when we needed it. So then we go into the profession with that same heart, with that same intention of showing up for other people in the way that we would have wanted someone to show up for us. So that's like the nobility within the profession, that a lot of us have really big hearts. We want to do good work. We want to serve. Also with that, know that in your service, it's totally okay for you to begin thinking about what your career needs to look like for you, and making decisions for yourself in terms of your income, your impact, the legacy, how I talked about that before, the legacy that you want to leave, and not kind of taking on the weight of the world and the world's problems. Because just like in international countries as well, a lot of these concerns and issues that we deal with in society, these are all systemic issues. These things existed long before we came into the profession. So I want you all to give yourself permission to be able to explore different opportunities within the profession, to not feel boxed in to roles that you feel like you should be doing or that you have to do, and to where you're doing work that just doesn't make you feel good, to where it's causing you more sadness, more anxiety, more grief than happiness. Like I don't want you all, like I said before, to be a martyr to the work, to where you feel like you have to carry this heaviness and this weight around the work. I feel like that could be a good place to start, to kind of give you some perspective, to kind of ground you into your community, to help you understand like what are some of the struggles and what are people dealing with. But in terms of that beginning to take a huge toll on your mental health and your physical health, like you want to be mindful of that. You don't want to allow this work to consume you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. None of that. You want to be able to chart a path and chart a course that feels good to you, knowing that you're not going to be able to solve the world's problems. Like, that's not what social work means. We're not the world problem solvers. We do what we can where we are with what we have, with the resources that we have access to. So just keep that in mind. Like, you're not a superhero. It's not your responsibility to do all the things and fix systems that were already broken before you came into the profession. You can look at the system, decide what is the impact that you want to have here? What is the work that you want to do? What is one like micro win? What is one way you can kind of insert your expertise and kind of help build change around that? But these are like world problems, systems problems, and one person can't fix it. So just find something that can make you happy, that can make you feel fulfilled, that you're doing impactful work, but not feeling like you have to take it all on. You don't have to put all of that weight on your shoulders. So I just wanted to mention that. I will be live again tomorrow, and hopefully I'll see you all then. If no one has any questions, I'll wrap up the live. Let me check on TikTok. Okay, doesn't look like we have any questions. Thank you all so much for joining my live. I really appreciate it. I will see you all tomorrow. And as always, be well.